Here's an intro to the intro, but I forgot to mention two things when I did my video on what sold for last week. First, I wanted to thank Amy for clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link that's down in the description. I really appreciate the support. And we've decided we're going to do a live show on Tuesday the 18th at 8 Eastern Time. So somehow I think we're going to try to figure out how to do the reminders and all of that through YouTube, and we'll see how it goes.
We're going to try to figure it out.
I say we a lot.
Yes, there's a lot of we's when it's me's.
Yes. I just told him we need to go buy stamps at the post office, and he's like, you don't mean we, right?
It's your turn.
All right, back to our regularly scheduled video. Hey again, my name is Rebel, and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what sold for last week, which would be January 3rd through January 6th. Sales have been good. I'm not going to complain. I'm still doing the end sell similar. It just kind of seems to keep things moving along. I see more make offers. I get more offers. Last couple of days have been a little bit slow for me, but I'm not going to complain because I'm still above average as far as what I like to make each week. You know, I have a set goal for each, my daily and then my weekly. And I'm doing okay so far. Made some sales, of course, on eBay and Facebook, but everything else has pretty much been dead. Nothing on Mercari, Bonanza, or Etsy. Bonanza, again, I think the whole ending sell similar is just really throwing that off because it resets every time I do it, and I'm not sure how quickly it reappears in the Google searches and all of that. But I make so few sales there that I think the added benefit of what I'm getting on eBay from doing that is okay. It's okay. Nothing grand to tell ya about anything that's happened this week. It's just kind of, slow and steady, and I'm getting my 40 a day done still, and most days I'm getting it done pretty quickly, which then gives me more time in the afternoons to go do my cross listing or do my ending and whatever else it is that I need to do. I have a set schedule. I start working at 6 usually, unless I wake up earlier than that, and I spend like 2 hours doing my listings from the previous day. I've talked about how I do it. I have a spreadsheet, and I do all of my processing first, and then the next morning I get up and I list all 40 items. I give myself about 2 hours, and at the same time that I'm doing my listings, I'm also doing my ending sell similars, and I'm sending out my offers that came in over the night. So, it's just the way I like to do stuff. There's other people who do it differently. You got to do what works for you. And you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because there's probably an easier way, but I do me. All right, let's get started. Yeah. All right, this first item was, it was like this Hershey's chocolate bar pillow. Pretty sure I picked it up at the bins here in Asheville at some point. I went a couple of times this year. Basically, I went somewhere else and I stopped there on my way home. It's been an amazing year for yard sales and estate sales and thrift stores, and I just didn't feel the need to go to that Goodwill. Now, of course, we did our sourcing trip, which I'm getting ready to do another one. Doing 40 listings a day is making me just move through that stuff so quickly that, every 2 or 3 days I need to do another video on stuff that we picked up because, everything's getting processed. I'm liking my new system. Can you tell? All right. So this Hershey's bar sold for $16.51. This is just Fiesta brand Polar Bear. It was a lay down type, 12 inches, and it sold for $9.15. If you're new to my channel, I do not do free shipping. So when I say this sold for $9.15, the buyer also paid shipping. This is from Douglas. I like to pick up this brand. There's some Douglas that sell really, really high, but for the most part, they're my $8 to $12. And this horse sold for $8, best offer. This was a glass kitten ornament. I probably picked up at a yard sale, probably a quarter or 50 cents, and it sold for best offer of $8. Christmas is definitely still selling. These we picked up at an estate sale that I shared where it was just a whole bunch of unique stuff. These were miniature Radco ornaments. Listed them and sold them within an hour. And, well, they sold for the $19.95. These next two were a combined shipment. The buyer paid $13.50 total. Again, Christmas. This was a vintage hot pad that just kind of looked like an elf. And I've had these two for a long time. And this was a vintage doll that was a musical. And when you spun it, it played Christmas carols. But just had a whole lot of wear. Look at that face. Ugly in a cute kind of way. This has been sitting upstairs for a while, and we've been trying to get through a lot of the things that need some cleaning. The small appliances, some of this kitchen-y stuff. Usually the plush and stuff, of course, I deal with pretty quickly, but some of this other stuff kind of piles up on us. But Robert got this cleaned for me and sold it the same week that I listed it. Best offer of $25. This is just Rubbermaid. It's these little canisters that was sitting on like a Lazy Susan that spun around. I love to find vintage Tupperware, vintage Rubbermaid. This was from a KitchenAid blender that we picked up. The base didn't work, but I had bought it anyway to part out. This was the glass jar, and it sold for $22.95. This was from our bins haul. Robert picked up a tote that was pretty full of Littlest Pet Shops. I picked out like 4 or 5 that I was going to list separately. I think this is one of the first ones that sold. It was the Siamese cat, and it sold for $22.95. I don't know what I was looking at. Littlest Pet Shop is easy. Google Lens almost always picks up exactly what it is and the number that goes with it. See this 1116. This is for this Siamese cat. And now I've been doing a couple of I'm getting ready to do like either 4 or 5, maybe 10 of just the not as popular ones. This is a Yasuhiro Night Owl cat plush. This was one of those, I started out with a really high price. I don't even remember. And just kind of, it slowly but surely has brought it down, and it finally sold for $11.91. I just thought it was something. 1998, Japanese, but for some reason, it was not selling. Robert picked this up at an estate sale. This was a vintage aggravation game. It was complete. Well, I lost a marble and then I found a marble. But it was complete by the time I got it listed, and it sold for best offer of $16. These brass. These are some 20-inch tall wall sconce candle holders. Took a best offer of $40 for them. I've had these a while. I bought a roll of vintage posters. I'm down to one of them left, but I took a best offer on this one of $8.25. And Robert we save the insides of bubble wrap when we buy it, and then he just kind of puts them down inside of that, and we ship it that way. This is a Carter's Lovey. It was just a cute hippo rattle, and it sold for best offer of $18. The Hallmark Rodney Reindeer series. This was Ramona, and I sold her for $18.35. The Vitamix. Yay. We picked this up at an estate sale, paid $10 for it. I tell the story when we were going through the house and making a pile right near the cashier, and I walked in there and somebody was picking it up and was going to go test it. And I was like, excuse me, that's ours. Thank you. And sold for best offer of $130. It was missing the little plunger. I think tamper. Plunger. Tamper. I guess when you push the stuff down. So it probably would have gone for a little bit more. Christmas Around the World. Love it. These were some scroll ornaments and sold them for $9.15. The boxes a lot of times look like this little green and red. So just so you know, a lot of times that's what they look like. This was a blue shark plush from the Okinawa Charumi Aquarium. Just thought it was unique. Put a little bit of a price, increase on it just because it was different, and it sold for $27.55. This was a ginger jar. I think this was part of the sale that we filled IKEA bags. So it was $15 to fill an IKEA bag. And sold it pretty quickly for best offer of $20. This stuff is so out of my wheelhouse. So just an example of a pair of shoes I sold. I stopped at a yard sale earlier in the summer, and she had just the nicest, a lot of Danskos and other brands that were just beautiful. $4 a pair. I bought almost all of her shoes, and I've been sending out offers because I'm trying to get stuff moved. I need space, and so I took a best offer of $30 on it. We picked these up at a consignment sale actually last year. I think this was one of the last. It was a whole bunch of vintage doll stuff. Paid a couple of dollars for it. And I ended up selling this for best offer of $15. But just very cute. Tiara dolls. I had clothes and everything still all new in the package. This is a Beverly Hills teddy bear. It was 16 inches. Very cute. It says I sold it for $21.11, but I had sent this young lady a $19 offer, and somehow she messed it up. So I went ahead and sent her the difference back. This is VeggieTales book cover. This is Bob the Tomato. It's from Zonder Kids. All things VeggieTales. Definitely pick them up. This had the little broken fob for you to zip it, or I probably could have got a little bit better on it, but I ended up selling Bob for the $13.75. Showbiz Pizza. Love Showbiz Pizza. This sold for $42.95. I don't believe this was actually from my online estate sale. I think I picked this up at a yard sale at some point. But definitely watch out for Showbiz Pizza and even some of the Chuck E. Cheese stuff. This is Build-A-Bear Buzz Lightyear. I picked up a couple of plush at a yard sale. I want to say I paid like $5 each. This outfit was on them. There were a couple of more extra costumes with it. But I ended up selling this for best offer of $12.50. Again, Christmas Around the World. This is a different box, but you'll always see it kind of just says that right there. These were some light covers for like the Christmas tree lights. You could slide these on. And I ended up having 2 of these. Picked them up at a yard sale. And this is the last of it. And it sold for $16.16. This was from the online estate sale. I think I just recently showed this in my last haul from the high bid auction. There was none like it. So I listed it kind of high and it sold almost immediately for $26.95. This is from SKM Enterprises. I don't find this brand very often, but it's cute. It's just a little vintage looking brown dog lying flat, and it sold for best offer of $12. Because I'm listing 40 things a day, sometimes I just get bored listing the same stuff over and over. So I have been going through some of my bins, pulling out little things. Like right now I've got some vintage Littlest Pet Shop and some Little People stuff all sitting over there. And when I'm just kind of at the end and I only need 3 or 4 more, I've been grabbing little stuff. So this was Alf, just a almost 4-inch figure, and he sold for $10.66. This is Big Al from Disney, just a 9-inch bean. I think they discontinued this series, so it's a little bit popular and harder to find, but I did sell Big Al for $19.76. These I sell as often as I find them. It is the pink, I think there's a pink and a blue seahorse from Fisher-Price. They have a little light in their belly and they play a lullaby. They just seem to be really popular. And I sold it for $8.96, but I can get these at yard sales and thrift stores for like $1.50 and 50 cents. A lovey, love loveys. This one's from Lollipop, and it also sold for $8.96. I thought it was going to sell for more because it's that linen with the little silk, but it didn't. More brass. This was a footed pot, and it sold for best offer of $12. I'm going to try to get the rest of that listed this week. This was in my little doll bin of stuff that I just went ahead and grabbed and listed. This is Barbie Pets. It was an orange poodle, 4 inches tall. Sold it for $9.25. And then here's my big sale. I featured this. I bought this at the sale. The second day we went was the day we filled the IKEAs. But I did grab this the first day. I paid $10 for these. They were the vintage aluminum tree branches from Consolidated Novelty Company. And I took a best offer of $125 for them. But I've got one of the nicest messages. I don't think the person who sent me the message was the person who ended up buying them, but her mother worked for this company, and she sent me a message just saying it was just, you know, one of those moments when she saw my listing because it said, and I have the box that shows the company. And she said she remembered going to work with her mom, and she would sit there while her mom was building these branches. And she has the original tree that her mom got from the company also. So I just love getting those kinds of messages. All right, these next few are my Facebook orders. I actually had quite a large sale on there also. This Build-A-Bear, again, this was a karate outfit with the little black belt. And, oh, here I'm looking at my cheat sheet. It sold for $7 on Facebook. This was a Stegosaurus Dinosaur plush. It sold for $8. Little People, I always list them there. This one sold for $8 for the 2. This was Sonic the Hedgehog Shadow. It sold for $13 on Facebook. And last but not least, this is Digimon Digipals from 1997. I guess his name is Gomamon. Somebody sent me a message asking if I would take $80, and I went ahead and accepted it. And she sent me a picture of it in her collection, so that was nice too. All right, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the other video done for this weekend. Sales have, like I said, they've been chugging along. You know, for January, it's not been bad. I'm just hoping keep up the pace that I'm going with my listings. I just hit 8,100 listings. So this is my year. This is the year I'm going to, you know, hopefully hit some goals that I have not hit before with this business. All right, bye.